We live.
We live now?
Yep, and it's 21 after the hour. Wow. We are late. What's up, family? You see, it's a no shave, no dress shirt Friday. And we're going to make it happen today. We're going to do what we got to do until we can do what we want to do. If you are coming on, first of all, it is, let's make sure my mic is good, because I don't have my hat, my suit on today, so I'm using I'm winging it. Say what now?
You want me to see if I hear you?
Yeah, I'm winging it with my RP shirt, so I want to make sure that you can hear me. Please, ladies and gentlemen, forgive me for being late, for being tardy today. And forgive me because we have been testing, we are anticipating, let me put it this way, we are anticipating a part of our wing, a whole nother part of our wing in our suite to become our new permanent studio, so that we can not only host our shows, but continue to create amazing content and launch our podcast and all the other platforms that we plan on introducing our information and our training programs to. So because of that, we have been kind of like beta testing different sides of the room. And as you may know, if you go back and watch some of our older videos, we didn't have our banner in the background. We had the Buckhead skyline view in the background for a while. We had some what do you call those things, blinds in the background. And so the last couple of days we've been moving around my executive suite, because my suite is the biggest suite in it's the biggest office in this suite, but we have a couple other rooms in the back that we have just kind of been waiting to see if we needed it, and if we needed that additional space, we were going to use it. So anyway, thank you for joining the Ramon Preston Show. Welcome to the Ramon Preston Show. If you don't know, now you know. I'm your host, Ramon Preston. Every Monday through Friday, even when I'm late, I still do my best to come on to give you a little bit of game to help you move that needle forward just a little bit more. As you see, and I'm talking about, we representing the brand today like no other. Let me see if I can pull. Let me go. Say what now? We representing the brand today. Look at that, y'all. We got the bag. We got the RP bag. You see that?
Is that the lunch bag?
That's the lunch bag. We got the RP stainless steel tumbler. We got the RP hat and the RP shirt and the logo behind us. Everything is representing the brand today. So welcome to the Ramon Preston Show. Please put in the comments what city you're watching us from. And we want to give you a shout out. Shout out to all of our coaching clients. We had a couple coaching clients that showed up yesterday in the studio, in my executive office, and they sat in during the live. I appreciate you for coming by and for sharing that moment with us here in person. We're just doing some logistical moving around, trying to figure out what angle works best for us until we move over into the other wing, and we're going to have a whole area dedicated to our studio. So we'll have our lighting perfected, our mics, our audio, our podcast platform, our board. We're going to have everything perfected, and it is going to be put together very, very well. But in the meantime, at least we're able to come and share some content with you. So today, for the few moments that I have, I need a marker too in my eraser. For the few moments that we do have today, I want to continue this discussion. It's actually part 2 of our discussion on business practices that produce prosperity. So some of you may remember what we talked about yesterday. Thank you. and all the things that we were able to cover yesterday on the show. So today I want to have a further discussion on business practices for prosperity. And by the way, I know I've been saying it all week. I'm going away for a couple days, and while I'm away, my goal is to order that Google board. That's what my goal is. So I'm still thinking it through. Do I spend $5,000 for a Google board, or do I just continue to inconvenience myself with this whiteboard behind me and these markers that go out every few sketches? So either way, I want to talk to you today on part 2 of business practices that produce prosperity, or business practices for prosperity. So let's start with this. Let's start with the 4 C's that I gave you yesterday, and then we'll just kind of break out some elements from those 4 C's. How many of y'all remember those 4 C's? The 4 C's were commitment, right? We had commitment, we had courage, we had confidence, and then we had creativity. I just want to hit on those 4 very quickly so that we can all be on the same page with what I want to talk about today. So those four words that we talked about yesterday were in light of, these 4 words were in light of you as a entrepreneur, you as a business owner, learning how to create prosperity momentum in your business, because these are the practices. So you can have a lot of information about business, you can have a lot of knowledge about business, but we want to create practices. So that means if you've been listening to me all week and we summarize a lot of what we've been saying in different parts, you have to take information, the right information about business, right? You have to take the right knowledge, or at least see to it that the information you're receiving is converting into you knowing that this is how a business works. This is how business success happens. A lot of times, I was just talking to my personal assistant about this earlier. A lot of times when you listen to people like me, coaches or consultants or financial educators and trainers, because I have a lot of clients, and I have had clients for years who do the same thing. They get information from me. And let me write that down, because that might help y'all. Let me see if I can make it even plainer. They get information from me. So let's write down information. And sometimes that information converts into knowledge. And if they work on that information and knowledge, they will develop certain skill sets that they can put to practice. If you do it this way, this is going to require commitment. It's going to require courage. It's going to require confidence. And it's going to require creativity. So those are like not just the bedrock principles, but the principles that lead to prosperity practices. So again, outside of all the other systems and structures that you might be thinking about, all the mechanics and all of the techniques that you might be thinking about in terms of like selling your product, in terms of like marketing your product, outside of all of that, it begins with what? The right information. This is like me summarizing this whole week. And I'm summarizing what I have been working with a lot of my clients on, because a lot of my clients, this is what they do. A lot of my clients, this is what they do. They get informed about, oh, you need a holding company. You need a division. You need a subsidiary. You need to file and form your LLC. You need to learn QuickBooks. You need to implement tax strategies. Like, if I talk to people that listen to me, I was just talking to somebody today who listens to me all the time. So you have a lot of the right information, right? So you're getting the information, but that information needs to turn into knowledge, meaning that I've got to listen to you. I've got to listen to you consistently over the course of an extended period of time until what I'm being informed becomes what I know. And a lot of my clients, even though they'll say, oh yeah, I got skill sets, Prophet Ramon or Apostle or Ramon, whatever you call me, I'm putting what you're telling me to practice. But the truth is you're not, because when I give you information, a lot of times our clients and people in our community, here's what you try to do. You try to morph that information into what you think works for you. And then it affects your movement. And now you're trying to figure out why I don't have no commitment. Why I don't have the courage, why I don't have the confidence or the creativity, why am I not seeing prosperity in my business? It is because if I gave you information and you listen to that information enough until that information becomes knowledge, right? You've got to work on that until it becomes your skill set. And until it's like natural. Like, for example, if we think about sales, let's think about sales. My team and I, we have studied enough about sales, right? We've studied enough that if we're talking to a prospect or to a lead, haven't you studied enough that you can kind of tell where you are in that sales cycle? Based on the points that we use, you'll know exactly where we are in that sales cycle. Because now for you, sales is a what? Sales is a skill set. If we are having a discussion about money, making money, managing money, and multiplying money, and we start doing the math and we see that there's an issue in our money, you can find that issue if you have a skill set for money. So even before we get into the making money, the selling, the marketing, and the branding, and all these other things, and the QuickBooks, and the systems and processes, you've got to make sure that if you are getting information, if you're listening to it over the course of time, it's going to become the know. I know what Ramon Preston is telling me works because it has worked for him. Not you getting informed and saying, yeah, but I know that way is not going to work for me. See, when I listen to my mentors and my mentors give me information, anytime we get information about business and finances and anything we're doing from our mentors, what do? I implement it the same way. They did it this way, we're doing it that way. And we're not going to add or blanket our nuances to it until we got it their way first. This is where a lot of people are messing up, because you're not doing it the way I'm informing you to do it. So you're not going to get the same practice, meaning that you're not going to see the same results. So it's going to affect your commitment. It's going to affect your courage, your confidence, and your creativity. If any of you have any questions, please drop the questions in the comments. So whatever Ramon Preston is informing you about, you actually need to make the decision, do I want to listen to him to the extent that if he gives me a set of information, if he gives me a set of data, if he gives me things that are relative to business and finances and sales and marketing and all of this stuff to be successful, you've got to make a decision that I'm going to take his information for what it is. I'm not going to try to finesse that information to come up with my own knowledge, because your knowledge at that point is going to be fragmented. Your knowledge at that point is going to be broken. This is why just going to Google or just going to YouTube University or just like reading countless books on money or business or this or that, this is why that doesn't work. You know why it doesn't work? Because you're getting too much information from too many different sources, and their information will not bring you to a specific practice. What their information is going to do is it's going to give you the false sense of belief that you know about that subject. And you never develop a skill set around that subject because you never really had the true knowledge. You just got really informed about making money, about real estate, about investing. And so when I listen to people go on and on and on and on about, oh, I know about real estate, I know about investing, I know about business, I know about this. Yeah, you got a lot of knowledge. And the reason why you got so much knowledge is because you gathered a lot of information. But first of all, it wasn't from a primary source that you could say, I'm going to focus in on that. And if I do nothing else but what this person is telling me to do with their information, and I develop a set of get enough knowledge, I'll have a set of skill sets that will at least get me what they got. Then I can change my information if I need to. So here's the thing. If you're listening to me, if I'm informing you about business, about financial literacy, about entrepreneurship, about investing, about wealth building, which is basically the foundation of what I teach in my training program, the Blueprint Game Plan, in my coaching program, and through my consulting services, that's what I'm teaching you about. I'm teaching you about business ownership, how to own a legacy company and build that organizational enterprise, how to properly start it and structure it. I'm teaching you about financial literacy, accounting, tax strategies, the fundamentals of creative cash flow strategies. I'm teaching you about entrepreneurship, what it means. I'm teaching you about systems like marketing and sales and financial systems. I'm teaching you about investing and wealth building. So if you're listening to me, what you should do is decide that I'm going to stop listening to everybody else until I know what he's informing me, and until what I know becomes my skill set. How do I know, Ramon, if what you're informing me about is actually a skill set for me? When you can actually practice and kind of preach what I've given to you. So if you don't know it front and back, if you don't know it inside and out, guess what? You cannot put it to practice. Does that make sense? You cannot put it to practice. And so it's only when you start putting it to practice that you are able to gauge where exactly is your commitment. Where exactly is your commitment on or towards the information that you've received. And once you are able to identify where your commitment is, you can go all in with that commitment. Now you're not going to be like flip-flopping one day, the next day you're flip-flopping, because when you start flip-flopping, it's showing a lack of commitment. And if you don't have commitment in certain things that you have developed a skill set for because of continuous practice and learning and training and gaining knowledge, you will never have the courage to make certain bold moves. I'm using myself as an example, not to brag or show off. I'm using myself as an example so you can see how real it is. Because of my commitment, I have the courage to tell the world that I want to hire 36 more people. I want to go from 4 people to 40 people. I want to go from $1 million company to a $10 million company, and would love to do it within the next few months. But I have the courage to say that and to back it up with real practice. You know why? Because I have a commitment, and my commitment is in what I have practiced over the course of years, based on a skill set that I got knowledge in and information on when it comes to business, holding companies, when it comes to financial literacy, accounting, tax strategies, when it comes to diversifying your assets through a holding company and reallocating pre-tax income to build your organizational enterprise, when it comes to marketing yourself and selling yourself and branding yourself and positioning yourself in the market, when it comes to getting your ideas and turning them into products and services and putting a price on them so that they can sell in the market. Everything that I teach in my blueprint game plan, everything that I teach in my coaching program, everything I teach as a consultant, guess what? I have information on, knowledge on, it's my skill set. I practice it, meaning that I have a commitment on it. So when I got to make an announcement, I got the courage to make the announcements. I got the confidence to back that announcement up. And guess what? Once people in the market start responding to me, guess what opens up for me? Right here. My creativity. I will figure out a way to make what I say I'm going to make happen, even if I don't have all the details to make it happen when I say it. Because my courage is going to lead me to the confidence and it's going to lead me to the creativity. Anybody got any questions on that so far? Woo, that was good. That was good. Anybody got any questions on that? Huh? Say what? Oh, okay, yeah, I'm going to have to get off here a little early, y'all, because I got a 1 o'clock appointment. So I got to get off here. So here's what I want to do. I want to take a look at, and I'm be talking about this tomorrow in our free business boot camp. So for those of you that are watching me today and you are not a part of any of our programs, say what? If you're not a part of any of our programs, you're not in our coaching program, in our blueprint game plan, I want you to look at the link that we have either in the comments and or in the video description. You'll see a link to our free business boot camp tomorrow from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. I'm going to take 4 hours live in person around the corner from our suite in our boardroom. And for 4 hours, I'm going to do a deep dive on you learning how to set goals for your business and for your finances. And I'm going to show you how to not only qualify your goals, but to quantify those goals. We're going to connect those goals to your schedules, things that you need to be doing or practicing every day. This is a part of your business practices so that you can actually prosper in what you're doing. And then we're going to take a break, do a quick Q&A, and then for about 2 hours to 2.5 hours straight, we're going to go through some interactive activities while I train you on how to actually build out your infrastructure for your business. And what I use in most of my masterminds and workshops, when I get to the business part, I use what we call our SMS Matrix. This is what I use as our SMS Matrix. I'm not going to have time to really get into a lot of the SMS Matrix today. Let me see if I can actually pull it up. I'm not going to have time to get real into it heavily, but just to kind of give you an idea of what it looks like. Some of you are already kind of familiar with it, but that's what our SMS Matrix look like. This is our SMS Matrix, if you can see it. Can you see it clearly on the screen? I know it's white. Yeah. Okay, so our SMS Matrix, and this is what we've actually created. We came up with this matrix, my team and I. We created this matrix, and we use this matrix to explain how to properly start, structure, and scale your business through the holding company concept. Because this concept is like a smorgasbord, a world of different structures, systems, processes, strategies, and practices all in one. So when you see the totality of this matrix, this is I'm still on the practices for prosperity in your business. But when you see the totality of a matrix like this, that's made up of structure, that's made up of marketing, and that's made up of sales, what I want you to understand is this is a million different molecules made up into one. So when we say things like, okay, we want to create business practices that produce prosperity. That means I want to have a business system that's actually working in the marketplace, that's making money. Well, in order for me to do that, there are certain molecular things that I have to be able to understand. There are certain technical things and tactical things that I have to understand. So let me give you a few things that you can do if you're really serious about creating successful business strategies that can actually produce prosperity for your life and for your business. And again, for those of you that have not seen this and you're not in our business coaching program or our blueprint game plan program, our online training program, tomorrow we're going to be hosting a free boot camp for 4 hours. This is our way of giving back to our community. I think we probably have, Tony told me yesterday, we have over 100 and something people. I think she said we signed up over 100 and something people to the to the boot camp tomorrow. And most of them have never purchased anything from us. Most of them are maybe just in our database. They're receiving emails. They follow us on social media, but they've never bought anything from us. And what I want you to understand, especially if you've never joined any of our groups or our programs that are membership-based programs, here's what I want you to understand. As much as you may be getting from me on a 1-hour show 5 days a week, as much as you may be getting from me when you binge watch me on YouTube, as much as you think you're getting from me when you get a free consultation here or hear me at an event there or plug into a free event at some point, you should really understand that behind that, on the other side of that, is a world of coaching, a world of training, a world of support that you can get actually accelerate your business and your finances. Because I'm giving you a lot of the surface conversations because we don't have time to get into the molecular structures of business, of finances, of sales, of marketing, of creating an organizational enterprise. So I'm giving you a lot of the pieces to help you understand that there is a puzzle. But when you join one of our programs, like our coaching program, you get 1 year of having to hear me dig and deep dive into things that you may have not even paid attention to, that once you understand it and you put it to practice because you got a skill set on it, it's going to produce prosperity. It's going to prosper in your life. Because if it's working for me and I give you the information, you let that information become your knowledge, you develop a skill set on it, you put it to practice, you have commitment, you got courage, you got confidence, you got creativity, it's inevitable that you're going to make money. It's inevitable. It's inevitable because now you're taking certain things that you can't even see. Like tomorrow, during that boot camp, when I get to this matrix and I start talking about certain things, you're not even going to see those things on the matrix. You're going to be like, wow, where did you see that at? Where did you see those corporate systems at? Where did you see A, B, C, and D at? Well, I see it because it's a part of a skill set that I have, and I understand that it takes time. It's a process. So I definitely want you to sign up for the boot camp if you have never experienced any live event with me teaching you and training you and walking you through certain interactive processes. But I also want you to really just lean in and make the decision and the commitment today, even before tomorrow, to join our coaching program. Give yourself at least a year to say, you know what? There's a lot that Ramon Preston is giving me in the form of information. But a lot of this information I am not practicing to see results. And the reason why I'm not practicing to see results, or if I'm putting what I get from him to practice and I'm not seeing results, maybe there are certain other components to it that I'm missing, and I'm pulling what I can from him, but I need to be in close proximity to him in order to get it again. Because there's no way you're going to join a program like our 1-year business coaching program. You're going to have 2 hours with me in an initial coaching session. We're going to put together a game plan for you. We're going to identify what your goals. We're going to identify with what systems and structures and processes and resources you need. We're going to put that game plan together. We're going to execute it in that initial coaching session. We're going to put you on a 52-week track where for 52 weeks you have access to hear me teach one day a week, Mondays at 5 in our coaching calls. You can ask questions during the Q&A session. Then you're going to have access to our on-demand 24-hour-a-day online training program. So now at any point in the day, you can jump on there, listen to me, give you information about certain subjects or certain things that you might be dealing with or building in your business and finances. And then you're getting access to 8 live events, 4 quarterly masterminds, and 4 quarterly workshops so that you can learn about the structures. You can learn about marketing. You can learn about sales. You can learn about how to position yourself in the market. You can learn about how to introduce your products and services. You can learn about your business, your brand, and being a brand ambassador. You can learn about sales funnels and sales pipelines. You have to know this stuff to the extent that this stuff becomes skill sets for you that you can put to practice and practice it until you see results. So these are the things that I want you to take into consideration. This is going to be my last point before I go. Some homework for you. If you want to create the best business practices, let's put it that way. If you want to create the best business practices that produce prosperity, here is what I want you to think about. I'm going to give you 4 Ds. My wife gave us 3 Ds last night. I had to steal 2 from her because they were already on my list. I'm like, man, my wife is reading my mail. I'm going to give you the 4 Ds. 4 Ds. All right? And this is for free. You're not going to get this nowhere else. I'm going to give you this for free. Are you ready for it? Prophet Ramon, how am I going to create the best business practices that produce prosperity for my company? Here's how you're going to do it. 4 Ds. Number 1, design. Number 2, develop. Number 3, document. And number 4, is that still on the screen? Yep. Deploy. See, listen to me. You can't hang around me. You can't hang around me. You can't hang around me and not learn something. And no matter how much you hang around me, you're going to continue to learn new stuff. Because I learn new stuff every day. So you're not going to get to a point around me where you feel like, oh, he done tapped out. There's no way. Because my dreams are too big. I'm operating from this mountaintop. I'm not operating from the valley down here, from some stream 10 miles away from the valley. So for those of you that really want to create the best business practices that can produce prosperity for your life, personally, professionally, financially, here are the 4 Ds I want you to take into consideration. Number 1, design. You have to design an infrastructure that actually makes sense. So this includes how you file and form your company as a holding company, how you develop your divisions, how you position yourself with your subsidiaries and all that. But designing is about you going beyond just, I got an LLC. The designing is also about your products and your services. You have to go through the design phase. Like, what products do I actually have? So the design, this is about your business. This is about your products and services. And guess what? The designing, if you look at this matrix, because it includes positioning yourself as an expert, the design phase is also about you designing a image or a character that you want to bring to the market. This is where your branding and where you position yourself as a brand ambassador. All of this is about design. You have to design that. There has to be some design. There has to be something you can look at, qualify, and quantify. You've got to be able to look at that. This is why most of you that are, if you're in our coaching program, you already know what I mean when I say this. One of the first things we go through is we go through this design. We take you to the top of the mountain and say, listen, you're way down here. We need to take you up here. We're going to reorganize your company, however you're operating in your business, how your finances are, because this is a part of designing. We've got to design an infrastructure for your life, for your business, for your products, for your services, for your image, for your marketing, for your team. We've got to design. We've got to design an infrastructure that actually makes sense to you. Because if the design of your business right now, if the design of your finances right now, if the design of your personality and your character and how you present yourself, if it doesn't make sense to you, it probably doesn't make sense to nobody else. Because when you go in one room, you try to be this person, and then you go in another room and you try to be that person. And it's okay if you have a design and you're just pulling certain nuances from your design. So today I walk in a room with real estate, I could be the real estate guy. Tomorrow I walk in a room with coaches or consultants, I could be the coaching consultant. But I've got to be able to bring that back into a singular design. Or when I get money, if I have no design, if I have no framework for my finances, all of this is about you educating yourself, training yourself, but also putting yourself in a context where this can start making sense to you. This is why this coaching program works so well for so many people. So number one, design. The second D is develop. Now you have to develop. You've got to develop strategies and action plans. For example, if you have certain products and services that you're designing, now you should develop a plan of action. What exactly do I need to do? Let me give an example, because I just talked to somebody about this last week. They wanted to open up an online store. And so when we talked about the design phase of their store and products that they wanted to sell, I showed them, as far as the infrastructure, you cannot design a business model around trying to sell $10 and $20 items. That business model is not going to work. Nobody knows you. You don't have a brand. It's not a good idea. So once we realized that the design of a online store needed to be for the purpose of promotional, it needed to be more of a marketing play, right? Now how you structure that online store was really fueled by what you wanted to market, how you wanted to use these items for promotional pieces, right? Well, then you needed to develop an action plan. So how am I going to get these promotional products that I'm designing as a store in front of people? I need to tie that into the overall products and services that I have that are actually going to make my business money. You get what I'm saying? So it goes from design to develop. You got to develop. If you're still confused about what you're selling, well, if you're confused about that, guess what you need to do? You need to go back to the design phase or the develop phase, because you have to have a product developed enough to introduce it to the market. And a lot of times your product may not be a physical product. It may just be an idea that you have enough confidence in and enough courage to introduce because you're committed to what you know you're good at. So it goes back to those C's. Develop, and then you need to document. A lot of people don't do the document part, And when I say document, what I mean is you got to look at, if you've ever made any money, even on your job, you got to look at how did you actually make that money? So the document phase is really not necessarily the system as much as it's the processes. It's the processes. So when me and my team sit down and we start looking at data, looking at numbers, we want to be able to look back at what we documented for the last week or two or month. This was a big lesson I had to learn because I was always a system person. Man, if I just have the right system, the right marketing system, the right sales system, the right accounting system, the right team management system, I'm going to be good. Until I realized that a system, design, develop, doesn't work unless I have a way to document what's happening in that system. So your business can be a system, but if you're not documenting the processes that your business system is actually participating in, how can you go back at the end of the week and say, what did we accomplish? What did we not accomplish? What did we win? What did we lose? Who did we connect with? Who do we lose connection with? And now we want to see the process. How did that actually happen? How many times we did A in order to get B? What did we give up over here to get this over there? This is the documenting side. And then you got the deploy side. Now, once you've documented it correctly, it's been developed correctly, or at least enough that you can introduce it to the market and it's a design to back it, you need to deploy it. Now you can start going hard. If you notice, if you've been watching me for a couple months, you'll see that I'm starting to go hard on certain things. You know why? Because I have a design that I've developed. I documented it. I got the processes and the proof and the data and the numbers to back it up. And now I'm deploying it. Deploying is actually a form of duplicating. So that was it, y'all. I got to go. I got a 1 o'clock appointment. I want y'all to have an amazing weekend. All of you that's watching me and you have not made a decision to be a part of my 1-year business coaching program, I don't want that to be something you regret in the event that we decide to discontinue that 1-year business coaching program. I'm giving a whole lot of our training, our coaching, our consulting services away in that 1-year business coaching program. So if you're serious about joining our business coaching program, if you're serious about not just joining the program, but if you're serious about building a sustainable, successful infrastructure for your company, if you're serious about learning how to market, promote, become the brand ambassador, position yourself in the market as the right person, if you're serious about understanding the fundamentals of sales enough so that you can start making money in your business with your products and services, if you're serious about learning about tax strategies, holding companies, producing products from your ideas, and knowing how to build that entire organizational enterprise out so you can continue to prosper and move forward, text the word coaching to 404-478-7213. Text the word coaching to 404-478-7213. Oh, I love y'all. Appreciate all of you for watching the Ramon Preston Show. And guess what? We'll see you on the other side. Peace.